I'm excited.
Welcome to the DTN channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
This weekend is the Hohn Day Speedcar Classic. And also the W.A Sprintcar title. Throw some international stars and the best of WA and you're going to have one hell of a race meeting. This weekend we honour one of the greatest showmen that's ever been in Australian motorsport. Not just Speedway, motorsport in general. And that's the General Hohn Day. The General Hohn Day has been involved in Western Australian Speedway for well over 50 years. Unfortunate with his passing a few years ago, he is still remembered today and will be forever in the Western Australian hearts of the fans. We catch up for a word with legendary Speedway promoter, Mr. Con Migro. Well, Con, Hohn Day night tonight. The legacy of Hohn Day through Speedway's synonymous. It's massive, and we're here for a great celebration tonight.
Well, Jace, can you imagine when he started with me 5 years ago, probably, nearly 60 years ago, he had one ute. Now tonight I think we'll have 12 utes. The last thing they have 12 but one little motor. So I should imagine we'll all be back tonight. And of course we're honouring the great man. It's hard to believe he's not with us, but the family's kept the name going, and Janet, well, she's the matriarch, and she's still keeping the name alive, which I think is fantastic.
Con, the legacy of Hohn Day is massive, and you can't talk WA Speedway without words like Con Migro and Hohn Day.
Well, thanks for that, but I think you're right. It's amazing. He didn't race himself, but he sponsored the likes of the great George Tatnall, Jeff Stanton, just Graham Jones he helped. So just to name 2 or 3 of the greats of the sport, and a lot of other things. I can tell you what, the things that he did behind the scenes, I bet you not even I know about it, and I was probably one of his closest friends during his Speedway life. He just loves Speedway, and not only that, did his wife and his whole family, and now he's got grandchildren coming on. He's even a son-in-law, does the merchandise at the track. I mean, and when he was a small boy, my wife was only saying to me the other night, Linda, she was saying he used to come in the office on a Friday night and get 3 or 4 programs, and now he's running our merchandise store.
Just going to give the last word to you, Con, as a personal thing for the Day family and John himself.
Well, I love them, and I just find it, as I said, hard to believe that John's not with us anymore, but I just thank them sincerely for what they've done. I mean, words could never describe what they've done for the sport. I'm so proud of what they've done, and to think that they're still there. And Gavin supports them, they support Gavin. I reckon that Gavin's probably got a better relationship with them than I did, and that makes me feel extremely proud.
There's no way we could have stopped doing this after what Dad had done for the sport and everything else. We had to continue for him.
You look back now, you see people wearing Dad's merchandise and stuff like that, and it just gives you, a very goosebumpy feeling that, that he's out there and stuff like that. It was really cool.
I chat with one of John's son-in-laws and some of his granddaughters before tonight's racing. Big night for you guys. Alki, what does it mean to the family?
Oh, mate, of course, it's huge for us. The event itself and, what it means to the family, the girls and Janet, just carrying through his legacy is big in itself. But to have this event every season, it was big at the beginning. It's kind of, I'll say, tapered off a little bit in its, but it hasn't lost its prestige. Everybody still rates it fairly highly, but for us as a family, it's huge, just carrying this the legacy of John through. Yeah.
For people that didn't know John, What was he like as a character?
Flamboyant, very generous, hospitable, loved his food, and wherever you went, always had plenty. And you'll probably see by the finishing up of tonight how the girls sort of cater for this event and the after party, and that's their dad coming out in them, and just very, very hospitable and a generous person, and just I love this sport immensely.
Girls, when you were little, growing up, this was normal to you, but it's not normal to everybody. Do you realise now, as you got older, what the legacy of John Day was?
Definitely as we've gotten older, I think. Like, for me, driving the car and everything like that, it's quite amazing to see how many people appreciate him and everything that he does for the sport. So definitely as a child, we took it for granted a little bit too much, I think, but it's amazing.
I think just when I was younger, I didn't really understand much of all of this, but now that I'm older, I understand a lot of it, and I'm really proud of my granddad.
I would just say going out and about and seeing like John Day Racing shirts in the public, that's when it really hits for me. When you see it, you're at the shops and you just see a John Day Racing shirt, and just makes it a little bit more special.
50 years plus he was doing this kind of stuff, had his smash business, turned it into a bit of an icon in Western Australia, or not a bit, a huge icon. Not many race teams can do that. You know, you have superstars, legends in the race world who win titles and all that kind of stuff, but John did it his own way because he was so flamboyant, so passionate about the sport.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we go back and maybe debate when he started this, and talking to Janet, it was 1962 when he first got involved in Speedway, and it slowly grew. He didn't start with 10 utes or anything, but it slowly grew. But this year we're effectively celebrating over 60 years, and that's a testament to we're privileged to carry this on, but it's a testament to what he's done for well over 50 years. Absolutely.
Talk about Speedway families. Yep. You have, generations of race car drivers, but nowhere in the world has generations of family and friends like the John Day Push Shoot family.
True, and we think of the Speedway community as one big family, so we're fortunate enough to be a part of that. The colour, what we can add to the show, and the drivers and the teams are really what make the sport. But we're all one big family, and there's so much history in a lot of the names in WA and Australia, and we're fortunate enough to be part of the John Day family.
All right, we'll go have a good night, guys, and celebrate. And on behalf of all the Speedway people and the fans, we appreciate what you still do and the legacy that John and Janet's legacy still lives on. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, very cool watching the 4 wide, especially on a night like tonight. All the utes will have the fireworks, and it's pretty special.
You get someone else that hasn't been in the ute before and they jump in and they're just like overwhelmed, and you're like, this is just normal to me. So, yeah.
You like seeing that buzz in their face?
Yeah, no, it's good. Dad wouldn't let me drive it for the first season until the second season came around and he couldn't find any more drivers. So he said, I'll take you to practice and we'll start practicing learning how to push. And that's how it all started.
Carrying through his legacy and what he's left behind, obviously for the girls and Janet, it's huge.
Forever the showman, forever missed. The General, John Day. Welcome to Speedway, Episode 6. It's the John Day Classic and the West Australian Sprint Car title. This is part 1. I caught up with USAC and Chili Bowl champion Logan Seavey before the event. Well, Logan Seavey, you're no stranger to the Perth Motorplex now. You've been here before. You practiced on Wednesday night. Seemed like you had just a little bit of a drama with the rev situation. Has that been rectified?
Yeah, we got it sorted out pretty quickly there. Just had to go through a few things and we got that sorted and went back out for our second session, and everything went good, and we pushed her back in the trailer, and here we are today.
You've had a hell of a season in America. You raced so many different divisions. Jump from one car, one class to another, is that something that you really get used to, or you never really get used to?
No, it's something, once you kind of have experience in all the cars that you're getting in, you know, it's not a big deal. Obviously, we race so much there back in the States, and when you're racing 80, 90, sometimes 100 times a year, you know, it's just what you do. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of times we're racing 2 cars in one day, or, you know, the 4 Crown, we're racing 3 or 4 cars in one day. So it's just part of it. You know, you get in a car and you kind of know what's going to happen. There's not really any you know, period where you're trying to switch over or whatnot. You have to be ready to go from the start. And yeah, it's just something you get used to, and when it's what you do as a job, you have to do it well. And yeah, it's just part of it.
You come back to the Motorplex as a Chili Bowl champion, and that smile says it all. That must have been a hell of a meeting.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. You know, obviously 2022 wasn't my best year on paper by any means, but to start off 23 with the Chili Bowl win was you know, no better way to start it off than that. So and then it just spiraled into, you know, the best season of my career. So hopefully we can close it out here. This is going to be my last race of the year, so hopefully we can close it out with a win.
You're here with Travis White Racing. How did that deal come about for you?
Travis called me last year, I think, pretty late in the year, actually. I think he was trying to get McDougall again, because Jason's obviously the guy that he had always brought over for the last few years, and Jason lost his passport and couldn't make it.
You seem really unhappy about that.
So no, it's funny, you know, obviously I knew who Travis was, and I'd maybe talked to him a few times, but never, you know, anything about racing or whatnot. He was obviously happy with Jason, and they were doing good and whatnot, but Jason has kind of slowed down his racing stuff and whatever else happened. But yeah, it was pretty late in the year last year, 2022, and Travis called me to come do it. And yeah, I heard that, I don't know, Jason moved at some point last year, and I think in the move he might maybe lost his passport, but it worked out for me great. You know, I get to come over here and check out Perth for you know, a week or so, and just enjoy this country and get away from the cold a little bit, and then I get a race at a new track, you know, and an awesome track. This is, I think, you know, one of the coolest facilities in the world probably for a dirt track. You know, we've got a lot of great tracks in the States, obviously, but I'd put this right up there with any of them. So had a blast coming here last time, and obviously had enough fun to come back.
What would you say to, you know, we have American viewers, but a lot of the American people think that, you know, the world stops at the border,
right?
And that's understandable because it's not better racing. But here in Australia, it's very big as well. What would you say to the people that might see this to say, you know, go out on a limb, come here for a holiday, enjoy what Australia is, because it's pretty cool?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think the biggest problem is the dang flight to get over here, right? It's like 20 hours in the air, so not including your layovers or whatnot, and that's from LA. So if you're coming from the Midwest, it's a long friggin' flight. But yeah, it's tough to beat this weather. This is probably the nicest day I've seen over here. Last year I came, it was crazy hot. This year it's beautiful. Yeah, this track, this facility is, like I said, one of probably the top 5 in the world. I'd put it up there with any track that we have there in the States. And they do a great job of track prep too. You know, last time the track was on the fence, couldn't ask for much more than that, and that's kind of what we like there at home. So yeah, I feel like this place is as cool as it gets, and you know, some great equipment out here, some great gear, as you guys would call it. But the sprint cars are, to me, is what blows me away. There's some of the nicest sprint cars in the world here at Perth, and man, they have just the rigs are cool, the crawlers are awesome. Like I said, they're great equipment. You know, the speed cars, there's a lot of good speed cars over here, and I have a blast racing here. You know, I wish we could get a few more Americans out here to do this. I think there's a few coming for the national title here in a few months, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get going here today, and then to come back in March.
On behalf of all the fans, because that's what we do this for, we'd just like to say thanks for coming out again. A few more times you might become a naturalised Australian. Korea will adopt you. But
You gotta win
hope you
first.
enjoy
You
your
gotta
visit.
win.
Have a good night here and a run, and we honestly don't mind if you take home the goods, because it's honour of a great man in John Day, a Speedway legend in himself. So good luck tonight, mate, and hope you and the Travis White racing team have a great night.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Quick thumbs up.
As hot laps finished and time trials were about to start, we went over to the Williamson racing team to see what they were up to. James had a late pill draw, so he was able to watch all the cars with Brodie on every single lap that they did, intensely watching what lines they were taking and where they were making up ground in their time trial. James would constantly look at the scoreboard as well. The lineup was Milling, Pigden and Veal. Then James got into the race car.
Even when James was in the car, he was still looking at the board and trying to see the drivers and what lines they were taking. It was interesting to watch how focused he really was. As James gets ready to get pushed off for his time trial, the team has done what it can. Now it's all up to James McFadden. I watch the team as James does his first lap and dials in second quick time. Callum seems happy with that and starts to walk off towards where the rest of the cars are. One more lap down, and McFadden goes quick. Unbelievable for a late pill draw like that. You watch the team, they're ecstatic. A late pill draw and a quick time. I don't think they can even believe it. The crowd erupts. It's official. James McFadden, quick time. James has just run quick time, then coming over the scales now to make sure that the car is in weight. He is all good. Well, James, I could say the world is looking at that saying, don't complain about your pill draw, because that was a pretty good car to get around there at Motorplex tonight.
Yeah, Brody and the guys are doing a really good car there. We changed it a fair bit from qualifying to the, from hot laps to qualifying, and it worked. I found a little line there for one lap. I just did a little burner in a different line than everyone else was running, and felt like it would be pretty good to come late in the qualifying run, and I saw Taylor Milling hit it, and I was hoping no one else sort of saw it. So yeah, just a good run for us.
So you just changed the wing. Not happy with the sort of downforce or the way it's working at the moment?
Yeah, I'm just not happy with how you have to use my hands, my input with my hands right now. It's a different angle. I just feel like when I use my hands, it doesn't turn up, so we just change the way that's going to work. And basically, we get into turn one in qualifying and turn right instead of left, just to stop it going down the racetrack. So hopefully this fixes it. If not, we'll keep going and work on something else.
Congratulations on fast time, mate. Thanks, buddy. We would now like to thank our supporters: Comex Civil, Redline Race Cars and Roll Cages, A Steel Powder Coaters, Freeware Incorporated, Cashfit Containers, Coverall Sheet Metal, My Race Setup, Overtrack Diecast and Collectibles, Ultra Tune Morley, and Michael Holmes Racing Performance Parts.
Just going to show you Heat 1, a little bit of the different car setups, because from the infield you can see them. On the outside you don't really see the drivers working that hard, but I just want to show you some of the stuff that we see. Beale's car was like a bus. That thing was just flying all over the place. He was working really hard. McFadden's not so much. So yeah, really interesting with both car setups, but Beale got it done, so well done to him. But just have a look at this. want to have a word, or are you too fired up?
I don't even know. Like, just,
Obviously coming off turn 2, got a bit tight out there. I'm not going to speculate what happened because you're driving the car.
oh, it is what it is. I suppose we're just racing for sheep stations. WA title, mate. It is what it is. I suppose just destroyed a race car for. I got fight with Wormel. We'll trace. You know, we'll show each other respect. Pups comes in and just Anyway, I probably haven't got enough experience around here. I suppose my fault.
All right, mate. Well, hopefully it's not so much damage you can get a bit.
Oh, it's wrecked. It's destroyed.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Cheers for talking to us.
I think I've made a smart move. I might have sit it out. I think it's smart.
Ever wondered what it's like to get in a John Day ute? We're going to get in and go with a ride with David Alquist. Well, David, thanks for letting us jump in the push ute with you. We've got speed cars on now. Is there any sort of maybe unwritten rules that you got to do as a speed car, as a push car driver, any?
Nah, not really. Just look out for each other. Obviously, watch all your mirrors. Watch what's happening all around you 100% of the time, and find if you push the guys off and sort of stay on their speed, they kind of weave out through us or vice versa. But there's no rules, definitely no rules. Just keep looking around all the time.
So you got a radio and an earpiece, so it's handy for you to hear exactly what's going on with all the stewards and stuff. You've got people coming across the track as well now, sponsor people, so I guess that's all part of it. Interesting, you've got to have the eyes in the back of your head is what you're saying.
Oh, all the time, yep. You're watching over your shoulder and mirrors and so on, but yeah, I'll listen to the track crew, so if they want us to do anything, then we'll relay it back through we have our own radios also, and I think there's 2 or 3 of us that got the track radio, so we can listen to what's happening, and Gavin needs something, he'll call us to roll the track, or need a ute to push somebody, whatever, and then we relay that through to the guys.
Quite often during the night they do scourify the track a little bit, and all you guys line up. That's a integral part of getting the moisture back up and then packing it back in for the drivers.
Correct. Yep. They'll obviously break the surface and try and bring that moisture back up. And
is anyone up in the pits or anyone going to the pits after this race? Kendricks needs a engine start pit lane on the drag strip. He just changed the motor.
Negative, but there's a whole heap of Mac & Sons just come out with all the corporates. If anyone would like to pick them up and take a passenger. Yeah, that's what.
Do you want me to go to the pits or what?
Yeah, if you can get out, head up there if you want. Yep.
So we've just lined up behind Tom Wood at Payette.
Unless you can get out now, just take a runner. Go, you'll get through the gate.
Cleaning this thing afterwards, I guess, is a bit of a flog, I would say.
Look, it's not too bad. Some nights it can be heavy, and yeah, it takes a little bit of cleaning. You try and scrape the dry mud out of all the orifices, and then pressure clean it like any other car. There we go. There's one coming up our left.
This is a heat race, so I guess it's pretty, calm. But a feature race when you've got 24 sprint cars like lined up, and you've got to do a few laps each to get through.
That's it.
Sprint cars are going through under power then.
Exactly, and you've got front straight, back straight, so you're pushing one car off, going to the other straight, picking up another one, and you kind of know where they're going to roll, onto the track. So, like I said, you just sit on the speed with them, and they can just kind of merge out. We merge better out here than what people do on the freeways, that's for sure.
So yes, this is part of the show, I guess, this part with 3 utes, but also integral part, someone starts slowing down, stopping, you're right on the job.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you just got to keep your eyes open all the time. And we have had a few stops, especially when you're doing a 4-wide. All of a sudden the seas are parting and cars going everywhere. And yeah, fortunately we haven't had any incidents.
Well, thanks, Dave. Really appreciate you taking us for a ride. And
pleasure.
Good luck for the rest of the night.
Thanks, mate.
We're now going to take in some heat race action from late models. James McFadden was kind enough to give us some time for an interview. We asked him about what it's like on the road with the World of Outlaws. James, you started racing like 7 years of age in a kart. I'm sure that you had dreams and aspirations to be where you are today in sprint car racing, but do you pinch yourself even now?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, growing up in Alice Springs with not a lot of sprint car racing around, you know, you can only dream of those things playing the PlayStation game. That's the old cliche saying right now, but you know, playing that PlayStation game in the house, always, you know, wishing to race against those guys and race those racetracks. So yeah, to be there, to be competitive, to be involved in the series, and you know, getting to do it for a living is pretty crazy. So yeah, definitely pinch yourself. I don't think you can get caught up in that too much. You know, you're there to do a job and do the best you can. And I think later in life, when we sit down and, you know, sit in a recliner having a beer, it'd be pretty cool to think back some great memories and great times, and you know, not many people get to live a dream that they aspire to do when they were, you know, 10 years old.
Have the family on the road with Zoe and your son Mav. That must be tough in different ways too, because you love sprint car racing, them probably not as much as obviously you, but that's got to be grueling in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a 2.5-year-old on the road is tough, but you know, I'm lucky enough that Zoe, you know, has wanted to do it and be a part of it, and supports me, you know, a lot through it. We got sort of lucky in the aspect with COVID and the way it all sort of played out, that our businesses sort of shut down, and it allowed us to go and you know, chase this dream of mine. And you know, as I said, it's not a forever job for me. It's something that I wanted to tick off the list, and to be able to do it with my family is surreal. It's so much fun watching Mav. I get to see Mav grow up every day. He gets to come in the pits and scrape mud, and you know, watching him fist pump Donny Schatz and Brad Sweet and David Gravel every night is something that, you know, I think is pretty badass. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to bring them along with me, and I wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
You're in Dennis Roth's Roth Enterprises car, which is legendary in itself. You have all those resources when you go to the racetrack. That must make you really confident every time you rock in.
Yeah, absolutely. To be a part of an organisation that's, you know, synonymous with sprint car racing is pretty surreal. They you know, they've put a world-class organisation out for the last 27 years on the road, and to be a part of that, to be successful in their car, and you know, give them their 100th World of Outlaws win was pretty cool to be a part of. You know, it's yeah, they're tough to drive for sure, and that's well documented. But you know, they spend a lot of money, and they want to deliver the best you can, and to win races, and that's how business works. That's how it is, and it's fun to drive for them. They you know, they're really good people. They're, like I said, hard but fair, and you know, I've really enjoyed being a part of their program, and pretty pumped that they've allowed me to go and steer their 83 car, which, you know, like I said, was a car that's been pretty famous for a long time.
What's some of the favourite racetracks that you have in the US, and why? Do you like bank, flat, long, big, whatever?
Definitely my favourite by far is Peevely. Small ball ring, elbows up, big banking, you know, make stuff happen. There's no designated sort of line where you want to run. It's sort of make it up as you go, and you know, a 55 lap race around there is probably the most fun you'll ever have in a sprint car when it's right. So this year I sort of really started to like half miles a little bit more. For whatever reason we clicked and got going on them. So I don't think I have a favourite. I don't have a favourite place to be, as long as it's racy, and you know, I might run 18th and have the best fun of my life, or I might win a race and, you know, it's the worst track that I've ever raced on. So I think at the point where you race 80 times a year, you just kind of become numb to it, but I definitely get excited to go to Peevely. It's one of the tracks that I roll into saying, this is going to be a fun weekend.
There's definitely nowhere to hide at Peevely.
Exactly.
Other than the racing part of it, which we all, you know, follow you on Facebook and the internet and all that kind of stuff, what's some of the things that might interest the people, you know, back here in Australia, about just even where to eat, where to wash the car, what to do on the weekends with the, you know, the family and all that?
Yeah.
Is that hard trying to manage that bit as well?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty lucky in the aspect I don't wash the car or work on the car, or I'm really not a part of, you know, the team at all. That's the way they set it up over there. I sort of roll in at 4 o'clock and drive and leave at 10:30 and jump in my motorhome and go to the next race. But for Zoe and I and Mav, we try and travel a bit and see the country at the same time, try and get to see the sights. And you know, we've had RV parks on the Colorado River in the middle of nowhere, and we've hired Niagara Falls RV parks and things like that. And we have a lot of fun doing that. The toughest part's generally finding places to stay, like Walmarts and, you know, roadside stops along the way when we're, you know, doing 40-hour drives to California or a 10-hour drive in between races. It's tough to find places to pull up, and just the whole logistical side of things is probably the hardest part, getting the motorhome up and down the road for, you know, 30,000 miles each year.
When you come back to Australia, and welcome back, by the way, welcome back to Perth Motorplex, no stranger to you. When you come back to Australia, do you find it hard to adjust? Because you're used to racing 4 nights a week. You come back to Australia and all of a sudden you're back to 1 night every fortnight type thing? Or do you just love it, the relaxation, bit of space, bit of downtime?
Probably end up drinking too much beer and sitting on the beach too much. But no, for me it's a holiday right now. You know, this is my holiday, this is when I get away from it. Fortunate enough, I can still race a few races here and there and get my fix on the weekends, but really enjoy time with family. And you know, we don't get to hang out with our grandparents and parents enough, so yeah, we take that time as much as we can to hang out with family and enjoy some time off.
Now, you did an article in the paper, and Loxley put it up in his Full Throttle Publishing stuff page on Facebook, and it took off. Everyone liked, a lot of comments, and a lot of positive stuff came out of your comments, which I think most of us agree with. The things that you put in there, would that be, you know, great to see, but how hard is that to actually get everyone to walk in the same direction in sprint car racing right now? It's very hard, I assume.
Well, I don't think you're ever going to all walk in the same direction. It's, you know, that's business, that's life, that's the way it is. So a little working together would be nice. You know, and I'm not saying that no one's trying to do that. Then, you know, it's way more above my head than I know. Like, I haven't been a part of a promotional team, or I haven't run a racetrack, I haven't sat on the grader and done it. But that's why I'm trying, you know, you try and be as diplomatic and correct as you can about it, and don't point fingers and say this is how you need to do it, and then do it. But if we all have opinions and voice our opinions a little bit, and you know, and try and figure out a common ground for everyone to stand on, I think it would be better. I see what you guys are doing over here, and it seems to have taken off. Like, it was a big plan, like a, you know, thought of mine to come over here for Speed Week instead of down south, you know, an hour from my house. So, you know, obviously what you guys are doing over here is the correct thing, and I still 100% back that we need a national touring series. I think that's number one on the list of things that we all need to achieve and strive for.
How different is it with the Toyota racing development with sprint cars? Obviously it used to be Chev and all that kind of stuff. How different is that we don't get to really see it or feel it, you know, experience it here in Australia as much? Speed cars, midgets, yes, but
yeah.
Sprint car racing over there, how have you found that development?
Yeah, fun. Being from an engine background, obviously I've enjoyed it. At times I haven't, obviously. That's like any program, even developing a Chev is the same way. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, Toyota have put a lot into it. They back a lot of, you know, racing in general, sponsoring the series and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed that part of things. It's been tough, it's been different. You know, they sound different, they throttle different, they weigh a little bit different in different parts of the car. So getting that right's been, you know, been a little bit of struggle at times, but at times I think they've helped me a lot as well. So bringing a couple out for Australia for the Napa 5 car, so excited to see how they go around here.
Welcome back to WA. We hope you have a great night with the Williamson Racing team on Saturday night, mate. We appreciate your time. You know, you spent with us. Know you're a busy boy. Hopefully you can race for the next couple of days after or between, and then a day or two after. So thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to come here for Williamson Racing and Mobile One, and see if we can't get them a win. Be good fun.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That concludes episode 6. We'll continue this meeting in episode 7. We would like to thank all the photographers and videographers that help us make this episode in a tribute to the General, John Day.